Welcome to Renegades TV. Here we are today with Australian cricket legend and Renegades legend to be, Peter Siddle. Pete, ready to go for a walk down Chapel Street, and we'll pick your brain a little bit, have a chat?
Yeah, looking forward to a beautiful day, so it'll be a nice stroll down there and we'll see what we can come up with.
Sweet as, let's get it done.
Let's go.
So you're a country boy, Sids. Can you tell us a little bit about growing up and where you grew up?
Yeah, I'm originally a country boy. Grew up down in Gippsland, which is about probably about 2 hours east of Melbourne, so not too bad. The freeways are pretty good, so it's a pretty quick trip. But moved down when I was 18. I'd already started playing club cricket down here when I was 16, so the parents jumping in the car, making them drive down and back 3-4 times a week. But as soon as I turned 18, they were pretty quick to come on, time to move down there and look after yourselves.
I'm on a slip and slide and move my goodness son, I'm on a...
Had you always been a bowler, or did you have the keeping gloves on at any stage? I know people go through different phases.
Yeah, I was actually growing up, I was a bit more of a batsman. I actually grew up probably the start of my career all the way till I was about 16. I was sort of recognised as a batter, bowled a little bit. It wasn't until I was about 16, playing up in Melbourne in the junior competitions, that one day we were struggling for some wickets. They chucked me the ball and I got a few wickets. They did that the next game and got a few more, and by the end of the carnival, I think I started batting at 4, and by the end I was batting at about 7 and I opened in the bowling. So I think things had changed around then, and I sort of developed a like for bowling.
People, can't you say, whoa.
What attracts you to being a bowler over a batsman?
I don't know. I think the fun in being able to bowl fast, hit a few blokes along the way is always fun. Smash a few helmets and see the blokes get a bit of pain when you hit them in the ribs or in the arm and stuff like that. So that's always brings a smile to all fast bowlers' faces. I think when they hit the bloke, you able to watch him sort of grimace and fall to the ground and hurt him in some way. I think that's always been a bit of fun of fast bowling.
I'm on a hurt to show my worth, it's where my darkness lives. I'm on to live dangerous.
What the transition was like when you first realised your own fame?
Yeah, I think it was funny. I guess I remember my first phone call to know that I was playing in my first game. I was actually I was out doing a bit of labouring for Darren Pattinson. He had his roof tiling business at the time, so ex-Renegade boy, and I was out there on the roof with him, catching the tiles, passing them to him, and he was laying them down. And I think I got the phone call. I'm like, oh, it's the selector. He goes, oh, I'll quickly answer it. So I answered the call, and I got the nod for the first one day coming up. So that was probably the first little bit, going from doing a bit of labour work, helping out a mate, getting paid, a bit of cash in hand stuff. Trying to survive, and then get that phone call to know you're going to play a first game for Victoria. I think that was probably the start of when all the hard work that I put in so far as a young fella and sort of starting to learn the game is now sort of starting to pay off.
When you're that close to touching a dream, does it pulling on the baggy green, that is, how do you feel and how do you prepare for that?
I think you can never prepare. I guess that's the thing. You're growing up, you dream a lot about it, but you never think it's as close as it can be. I guess I was in India with the Australia A side. We were having a tour, and I thought if I can play a couple of games, go okay, that maybe in a few years' time I'll get the chance to play for Australia. But I actually got the phone call on that trip that I got being called up to the senior Indian trip in a couple of weeks after that. So I had to fly home, and you receive the gear and you get the suit and all that kind of stuff, the tie, and I remember flying in for the first time, flew into Sydney Airport, we're leaving from there, and sort of I knew some of the other guys but hadn't really met some of the senior guys, and I walk in there and you got Ricky Ponting and Matthew Hayden, Simon Kaddish, Mike Hussey, those guys that I'd sort of grew up idolising and watching play over the years when they were such a dominant side, to being at the airport. Here's me, young bloke, 23 years old, getting ready to fly away on a tour with them. It was quite amazing, and lucky enough, Stuart Clark got ruled out of the second test with a bit of an elbow injury, and punter gave him the tap on the shoulder and said, "You ready for tomorrow? You're in."
Winding back to 2012 Adelaide Oval, the infamous game where you nearly bowled yourself into the ground there, or literally did bowl yourself into the ground. Is that indicative of what playing for Australia or playing for your country means to you? Just giving it your all and getting out there?
Yeah, I think so. I think growing up, you always watched and heard about blokes that had done that in the past. I guess it was probably Dino back in the day when he made that 200 over in India, and he still talks about it now. But it's like the stuff in the heat, you know, getting through that innings. You got Merv Hughes running in on bung knees, charging in during an Ashes series and stuff like that. I think it's just, you grow up always hearing about stories like that, and you think, you know, like if I could do something for Australia and get them over the line or really push them close to victory, that's the stuff you sort of dream of. And I guess, yeah, that was probably one of those days. It was quite funny. We'd actually done the footage for the summer and about advertising the test series, and it was the come on mate, and it was about getting the ball and getting to the top of my mark and come on mate. And it was, yeah, funny. We got to the Adelaide test and that situation came up. James Pattinson had pulled out injured after about 8 overs. He tore his rib, and so we knew there was going to be a lot of hard work having to be done. And I guess, yeah, just kept running in, and it just kept getting closer and closer. We got 6 wickets and 7 wickets, and Faf was down the other end, not giving up his wicket. So we're trying to get the blokes at the other end, and just kept charging in. And yeah, sort of got down to that last couple of overs that evening, and it was like that come on mate moment. But yeah, sadly, couldn't quite do it. Fell a couple of wickets short. So it is disappointing to lose. You never want to lose, and to lose in a way like that. But it is a little bit rewarding to see people sort of respect the way and the courage that you'd shown out in the field, and that's how I've always been. I think any game that I've played, I've just never wanted to lose. It's always been about winning, whether it's a game of cards, you know, game of backyard cricket, basketball with my brother. I guess that's just the way I've grown up. Didn't want to lose anything, and I think that's that's what it's about, isn't it? You're representing your country. That's what you dream of doing. You want to do it proud.